Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, this is going to be the Admiral Dadman summary here for January 15th. And to be honest, it looked like I mean, we'll look at the last 2-3 days, and, well, it's been a very interesting change of pace, really. We went from initially being like, okay, well, what can we do? Now we've progressed to the point at which we're like, right, okay, well, we hope he comes to us. It's a difficult position, as always, to try and position and to try and guess where he's going to be. But we're in a position now where if he comes to us, then we can certainly give him something to think about. So what we're going to be effectively doing over here, Bal, the supply has arrived over here, but it hasn't unloaded in sufficient quantities for it to match as of yet. So, well, c'est la vie, we'll solve that out. We do have a supply in the actual ships in port. They're going to be unloading over here. So that's going to be helping us out. We can have them unload there. We do have these guys docked up over here. It's going to take them a little while to unload, but they'll unload nonetheless. So we'll be able to get that supply into Bal. What we need to do then in the future is, once the situation is done with, is bring a good chunk of supply down to Bal, down to the Ley area, down to the Southern Pacific in general, really. Bring the supply down here to actually construct the airbase at Bal to size 7, and build up Ley, build up Boona, build up Buin, build up quite a lot of these different little islands in the area. Then we'll be quite good to go. So what we're going to be doing then is, we're going to have the zeros here running about 40 cap. But what we're going to do then is these guys, we're going to have about 50% go out there to strike. So not the full strike, as we're trying to really preserve as much as we can. Also what we're going to do here with the Zuho 1B detachment, obviously the smaller number of zeros here, is these guys aren't as likely, we're not as likely to strike out from Bal, due to only being able to do 9 hexes this turn. So what we're going to do then is we have them set to run 9 hexes there, but extended range, which it kind of sucks. But hey, it's worthwhile if they can actually escort a strike in there. But because we're not expecting them to be the ones to strike, we're expecting more so a strike potentially against us. But if they could strike against us, we can strike against them. But even so, because we only have a 9 here, I'm going to have the 40% of them who are going to be running cap, running about 15,000 feet. The idea being we're going to be at the highest end of any probable strike there, so at least we could try and cause them some problems, try and shoot them down a little bit more from that altitude. So that's looking good. We have moved out some G3s, so we have the 36, so 38 in total. We still have the B4Y1s. These guys are running in pretty close. Like, if he moves within 6 hexes of Bal, he's going to be in for some pretty nasty problems there. That's going to be a lot of torpedoes there. It's going to be a very large amount of torpedoes. As that's looking quite good. Now, what we're going ahead and done, then, is over here at track. We did move in about, what was it, about 48 zeros or something of that sort of nature from Babardwab in total. We do have the Armada detachment over here. This is a group that had not moved prior. So what we're going ahead and done is actually set them to escort out to 14 hex, the same as they all will be. But these guys over here are going to be running cap at 20, to make sure that more of them are available for any sort of strikes, really. These guys over here, because they have just moved in, but not as likely to fly out on an escort mission, is going to run the majority on cap. This group's going to run 15, the others are going to run 8. So at least if they don't escort, if they don't link up, at least we have another potential to potentially hit him from higher altitudes as well, which is nice. Okay. Now we do have our assets over here. These guys, I'm going to have rerouted. Rerouted. They're going to be headed north, actually. There's a point at which we're going to have the WITP. The WITP is going to be leaving truck over here, and it's going to be linking up with the WITP. Round about that sort of spot there-ish. Let me take a look. About that spot there. So WITP is going to go 3 hexes to the north, and then she's going to turn that way. We'll have the WITP head this way. What I'm going to do then is actually, I'll do it right now, actually, then I don't forget about it. I'm going to have like all these ships that are in the area, and that are actually fleeing as well, but haven't yet escaped. Actually moved to that area as well, moved to that hex as well. The reason being that there's actually strength in doing that, because if a strike does come in, it potentially might hit something else. And even if he's got the PBYs, there's more of a chance we might potentially be able to shoot them down, due to the amount of like AA as such. You know what I mean, there's always those little chances, but obviously having all that cap concentrated there, they're going to be fairly well protected by the WITP. So we're going to have the WITP assemble about that point there. Now we're over here at Roinmar. I do have a G3M2 group over here, but I'm running them majority. Now they're running a naval attack, but I might as well have them on naval search actually. So I'm going to run them 50-50. The reason being, I don't want to push them too hard, But I want to have additional naval search if we can do. But we have discovered actually something rather fun here. And this is something that we only just noticed this turn. Well, they had, I think Gani had pointed out that there was something sort of strange like a turn or two ago. But it was one of those little things that got sort of like caught up. But essentially we have Shortlands here being assigned to General Defense. Now that doesn't seem huge. But General Defense is the home islands. And Formosa. Okinawa as well, I believe. Actually, no, I think Okinawa might be Southern Army. Yes, so General Defense is Japan proper, and then Formosa. Now, what that means is, all these aircraft over here, for example, let's take a look at these guys over here, these Topsies, which I actually need to make use of these guys. I forgot about these Topsies. I'm actually going to have to get them moved out elsewhere. I'm going to have them set to just train for the time being. Train's fine for the time being. I don't need them as of yet. I'll look at when I do need them in the future, but for the time being I'm going to use this as an example, which is a bad example because it's not even that, and I'm going to have them set to proper training, transport, there we go, rather than general training. Let me find like a proper example, but I'm glad I actually clicked on that. Right, these guys are second air division, which is not what I want. Let me find like a general defense. Right, okay. Oh my god. Right, let me take an example then. Right, so I have a H6K4s over here, the Sasebo. Now, these guys are restricted. So what that would mean is they couldn't transfer to any base that wasn't a general defense base. However, this is the beauty here, we actually managed to get in the Yokosuka KUT-1S, which is a restricted general defense squadron. Now, that's really good. That is actually really, really good. Because what that means is, right now, Buin, well, the Shortlands, is actually a general defense base. So all we need now, we do have a squadron of G4M1s actually. Over here, the Yokosuka. These guys are general defense. However, their maximum transfer distance is 69 hexes. So all we need to do is convert another few bases in the area. I mean, if I converted this base to general defense, I could actually get them in there right now. But what we're going to do then is actually capture and turn Buna into a general defense. We've kind of worked out the way that it happened actually. And the reason is we have the 7th JNAF over here. Now this unit is Southeast Area Fleet, but they weren't the ones to capture it. These guys were the ones to capture it, and they're 11th Air Flotilla. Now 11th Air Flotilla is, if we go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and find 11th Air Flotilla in the ground units over here. So headquarters... there we go, 11th Air Flotilla. Now, 11th Air Flotilla is a general defense headquarters. So, what that means is, and essentially... it's really awesome, actually. It means that what we can do is all the units that are assigned to, like, 11th Air Flotilla, we can actually have them moved out. Like, for example, if I have them go ahead and capture Buna, then that base will be general defense. So that means that everything that is general defense could actually be then transferred. Now, the cool thing is we do have a couple of these units that are 11th Air Flotilla. As you can see, then we have 2 groups of here, Talagi, one of Wale, Shortland, Hollandia, obviously that doesn't have any AV. But these are the units that we can use to actually capture bases. And obviously we could use them in tiny amounts, just need a squad from each of them, and we could turn a lot of bases into general defense. So what our plans are going to be then is essentially, we'll capture bases over here in the Philippines, because obviously this is general defense as well. So what we could do is transfer from Japan to Formosa, potentially to a base out here. And then we could transfer to a base out this way as well, like Kuching potentially, or other bases in this area, like that one, from there to there. And then what we can even do is capture bases over here in Sumatra and make them general defense. And then, for example, Little Andaman Island over here is within 21 hexes to Colombo. So what we'll be able to do in the future when we have like the H8 Emily's is, I think their normal distance, their normal range is about 24. So what we could potentially do then is in the future bring down general defense like H8Ks or H6K4s. Obviously they won't have the range of Colombo per se, but we could actually bring them down en masse. We could bring other assets down in masse and actually have them set to naval attack, or just really do a lot of different things. Like, imagine just how many aircraft are actually restricted. If I take a look at land base, can I sort them by restricted? Oh, I wish I could. What I can do here then is all the units that have the S's, I believe, are restricted. Yeah, they're like restricted headquarters. But I think obviously they're assigned to different headquarters, in fact. Let me see. Well, you guys kind of get a picture. It means that all these aircraft in Japan and Formosa could potentially move out to the front lines. So what it means is, right now for us, we actually have another 6 H6K4s that we really shouldn't have. It's something that we didn't previously know about. We don't know if other people know about it, but it's something that we're going to use, which is quite nice. Obviously, this is a game with no rules, essentially, so we can use that against him. So what we'll be able to do then is next turn transfer in another 12 H6K4s over here. So what that means is the H6K4s that are in this area, and especially when we do take Boone and other islands in this area, it means we can actually have the H6K4s and the actual assets in this area reassigned elsewhere. And it allows us to really make use of a reserve that we didn't previously have. So you can imagine just having another 18 H6K4s in this area. And we've got 12 about there. But being able to have those like 12 transferred elsewhere, like 6 each, 6 per squadron transferred elsewhere, it'd be really nice. It would be very helpful. We could potentially even have H6K4s actually brought into these areas, potentially help us out. Like having a squadron of general defense, being able to potentially move to Coco's Island, or to, let's see, these islands over here, like Diego Garcia. Islands like that, that's when they could come into their own, really. So it's really interesting. It's a nice little thing that we figured out here. It's awesome. It just happened by by accident, in fact. So it's good. It's very good. But yeah, what we're going to do then here is essentially if it does move into, let's see. So 9 then is about there from Rabal. Now we're looking for truck about 14 hexes. So yes, essentially he only has to move about 4 hexes forward. 4 hexes to the north is potentially within range. If it moves into this area is within range of Rabal and truck. As to whether we actually get effective strikes, it doesn't particularly matter. Even if we go in there, even if all of the bombers are shot down, that's still fine. If we can cause any damage to his aircraft, that is good. If we could cause any damage to his ships, that's even better. Even if we don't cause any damage at all, it's still going to be quite scary for him, really. But the situation has dramatically changed in the area. Rabal can look after itself to a degree. Truck can kind of look after itself to a degree as well, which is nice. It's got a good number of zeros there. Not perfectly. I mean, obviously 100 zeros would be awesome, be really nice. But we still have Kitabatai in the area. So what we're going to do then is going to reassemble Kitabatai. And then what we're going to be looking at doing there then is being in a position where if he does move north, we could potentially chase him with Kitabatai. I don't think it's going to happen, frankly. I don't think he's going to move north. He may turn back. He may head to Rabal. He may head out of the area. We shall see. What I'm doing is I'm moving submarines to this area over here, so we are going to be going ahead and actually trying to hunt him if he does come through here once again. It was actually Mr. Carl, he knows who he is, Tankadoob, who pointed out that we did have a report of shipping in the area. So what we're going to be doing then is, I've got a pretty rough plan here, but we set things up to try and intercept the convoy that we think might be in this area over here. There's supposed to be about 9 fast ships in this area. So we're going to intercept them. We're going to take 2 submarines up this way, bring them up this way. These submarines are going to go down and try to intercept them, really. So it's a very interesting time, really. It's a very interesting time. A lot of things are really underway, which is awesome. Looking very much forward to it. Right, those guys are following 106. Which is 106. Right, oh, there we go. Yes, now it's actually doing it properly. So they're going to follow. Yeah, just follow there. That's good. It's going to be very interesting. If he does carry on north, he may be in for quite a shock there. If he doesn't, well, that's fine. He may not know what exactly we have, and it may come to sting him in the future, really. But what we're going to do then is essentially work on being able to look after this area without having to have a Kitabatai nearby. So what that means is what we'll do is we'll build up bases, and then we'll leapfrog essentially until we have, like, let's say that the Shortlands here can look after itself. Then what we'll do is we'll move forward another 6 hexes or so and take another base and actually like build that up, and then so on and so forth until we can really have a very effective deterrent in this area actually from these islands. We can imagine if we take Buna with general defense, and that's the size 6 airfield potentially. That's going to be really awesome for us. It means we could potentially base these assets out over here, and that really is going to put pressure on him because that's a lot of aircraft that he isn't going to expect. He isn't going to think we'll be able to use. That's a lot of... It's a very interesting thing we can do there. It is actually genuinely quite awesome because it means that all these aircraft here that are restricted are now potentially able to be moved to the front lines. It might be difficult, it might take time, but it can be done. And that's what's awesome. You can imagine all the aircraft squadrons that will arrive in the future as well. The ones that aren't here right now will be potentially viable. We'll be able to move them out there. Looking forward to it, really. Looking very much forward to it. Something else that we have done here is I've expanded the engine production of the HAR-34s, and we had inadvertently missed the expansion there, so we're putting 30 on there, so 30 days or so, that's fine, we'll do that. We are going to be repairing, well, we're still repairing the oil at Palembang, so we're going to continue to repair the oil at Palembang. So what we'll do then is get this area back into order, get the reconnaissance going once again, and we're going to get ready for the invasion. Getting ready for that. I think what I'm going to do over here then is, let's see, do have a landed forces over here. What I'm going to do is, well, they're following Task Force 43 actually, so 43, I'm going to have them actually head back towards the Baldwab area. I'm going to bring that regiment back towards the Dutch East Indies so we can actually make use of it, really. I would like to have the 2 divisions there formed proper so I can actually make use of them in Java. What we'll do then is, we're going to wait about a week or 2, something like that. Maybe less, maybe more. But we'll wait around about that 2-week mark, and then what we're going to do is bring in a hell of a lot of very highly trained ASW pilots in Jakes, and what we're going to do then is essentially clear this area of submarines, really make it difficult for them to operate, and then just decrease the amount of danger to us, and just bring about bombardment after bombardment. Which is pretty much what the BBs at the Bardor are going to be used for. And like these bad boys over here and the other BBs elsewhere, they're mostly going to be used to bombard Wake into absolute submission. And those are big guns. I mean, those are obviously bigger than the Congo class. Big, big guns. That go big boom boom. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to be attacking Clark tomorrow. So ideally that goes well. Get that fortification down. Ideally we get a few more hits on the actual runway there to cause it down on the airfield. We're going to continue to bomb Johor Bahru, but I'm going to have these G3s actually run naval search once again. We are waiting on our forces to recover, but yeah, what we're going to do then is, I think in future campaigns, I think bombing the ground forces at Singapore is just not worth it, frankly. I think what we need to do then is in future campaigns is get that airfield damage up to 100 and just make sure we can maintain it at 100. It's just simply not worth it. We had it about 50 at one point, and then we should not have let it fall. We had weather and then obviously transferring bombers elsewhere, but we've learned campaign lessons here that we can apply elsewhere, which is good. So it's looking pretty good. We do have things moving. We have been somewhat delayed, but even so, we'll still be able to manage things well enough, really. Still surprised about that. I might keep them patrolling there. But even then, it's probably not worthwhile. What we'll do then is we'll have them set to patrol. Then I'll have them head back to Kopang, really. It's not worthwhile keeping them off the coast of Australia, just in case. If we see that AK, then we'll sink it. If not, oh well. Oh, we saw these guys down here, actually. I'm going to do that off-cam, actually. I forgot about that. We'll do that off-cam, and I'll try and intercept them there. But either way, things are looking good. I mean, as far as it goes with the carriers now, it's a very different situation to what it was beforehand. If he goes north, if he continues on the path he's going right now, he could very well and truly be in a dire position and may not know it. But he's a very experienced player. I'd be surprised if he didn't know what was potentially going there. So we'll have to see. It is going to be an intriguing one. We are moving towards Big over here, which is good. We're moving slowly because we're moving in combat mode, but we are inevitably going to arrive there. We are inevitable. But that's fine. I don't think he's going to move his forces out to Rangoon. I'm surprised he moved these additional forces over here, really. But that's fine. What we'll do then is when we get to Pegu is we'll smash them at Pegu, and then we'll move forces potentially north and into Burma. And we'll look to isolate Rangoon. I mean, what would be quite nice is looking for, like, drop tanks. Like, really forcing the H-81s outside drop tank range would be fantastic. I don't think it's going to happen because it can bring reinforcements in, but we can put pressure on Rangoon. And, yeah, bring him to his knees there, really. The Japanese forces aren't too far away from being able to join us as well, which is awesome there. We're going to launch... I think we can go for a deliberate attack here. Yeah, they win in that mode, okay. I mean, I could go for a shock attack, but he may have fortification. I'd rather reduce these fortifications and then go for a shock attack. I know I'm somewhat cautious when it comes to sort of things like this, but I don't want to just unnecessarily throw our forces away, really. So I don't mind going for a deliberate attack if it means that we have a greater chance of surviving and just maintaining the coherence of our units there. So we have plenty of HQ support for Cheng Chao, which is good. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. What we're going to do then is actually get divisions, and so we get a division and brigades marching this way too. These divisions are going to carry on this way. What we'll do then as well is place garrison units in here to make sure we can hold on to this road as we march towards SunYan. These units are going to move up here to SunYan. I'm going to leave a division here. These units, I'm going to have... well, let's see. I could potentially move south here. I don't have any information on Nanyang, but if we take a look at it, it is... clear terrain, it's clear terrain, we're on major roads. I don't think there's any problem with us marching south once again. Yeah. I mean, we are going to kick their ass. So what we'll do then is we'll move south. I mean, this is it really. Make sure they're all in movement mode. If we are lucky enough, we might be able to force our way up Nanyang. I doubt that's going to, up the road here towards SunYan. I don't think that's going to happen. But if we can put pressure on him as we approach SunYan from as many directions as possible, that's going to be quite good there, really. But no, we're looking pretty good there. It's looking, it's looking like it's going to be quite interesting, actually. We are getting to the point now where things are starting to work in our favour. When we get the ASW squadrons out here in particularly Cindy's, it's going to be a no-go zone for submarines. It's going to be extremely hard for them to operate. They're going to take a lot of damage. They're going to be hit quite often. It's going to be really nice. We're going to be able to do a lot of things. Now, he does have a unit that is potentially going to leave Clark tomorrow, so it will be intriguing to see what actually happens there at Clark. Ideally, we do get a good shot at him. Ideally, I don't know, it makes me wonder. He's got 22 units there. How many units is he going to take out? Is he going to take out anything? But if he does take out anything at all, it still makes it easier for us to take Clark, so ideally something substantial. And if he abandons Clark, which I could never see him doing, but even if the off chance he did abandon Clark, we'd be able to take it there and then. But we'll see. So, there we go. Until next time, I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my patrons. You guys are awesome. And to my loyal viewers, you guys are great too. Please do subscribe if you're enjoying this, and comment down below. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Will we see his carriers move into range? Who knows, really. Even if they don't, it gives us more and more time to work with things. As long as he remains in that area, he's in some pretty tremendous danger, really. And that danger really increases as we actually have more time to work out what we can do. It's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to when Singapore finally falls. I'm going to say Singapore attack is going to be on the 18th or the 19th, depending on when the troops arrive and depending on the actual amount of fatigue and disruption that we have. But it's not long, another 4 days, and it's significantly behind what I expected it to be, but then this is it. We have made mistakes, and we've learned from them. We learned the lessons there. Looking forward to putting it into action in the future, but it's going to be a good game. We've had losses, but, I mean, it'd be very nice if we could inflict losses upon him. We'll see what happens. Until next time, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. See you next time, guys. Iceycrome, Tena Haika Banzai.